Okay, so we're going to begin class. Please take a comfortable and upright seat. I'm glad to see you guys. Thank you for bringing your full self and also your humor. Go ahead and rest your hands in your lap, and you're welcome to close your eyes also. Let yourself come into the present. And I often say this in our early morning classes because we are coming from sleep. So my request is that you don't give too much back to the sleep. You can tune in and sense what is vibrant in you, what is a little foggy, where there's a sense of radiance coming through, where there's any sense of heaviness, whatever is present. And whatever that bouquet happens to be, then let yourself come in to that in you which is paying attention, which is noticing the flickers of sensation or the fluctuations in mood. Come into noticing that which is giving attention. Sometimes I describe that as the eye that is looking through the kaleidoscope. So we're aware of all the gems in the kaleidoscope. We know that the kaleidoscope needs light on the far end for us to see those gems. And then there is the eye that is looking through the kaleidoscope. Invite yourself to sense those multiple layers of experience, but to rest your attention on that which is able to give attention. And then bring in the most subtle form of your ujjayi breath. And most subtle because you're not in dynamic movement right now, but also subtle so that as this bit of effort is made for ujjayi, you don't lose contact with that aspect of you that is presence itself, or that conduit of attention. When you listen for this subtle form of the ujjayi, notice the quality of its sound in the inner ear, which will likely be close to the quality of silence in the pauses, because the more subtle breath has a lighter sound. But still notice the transition from the sound of the breath to the silence, the movement of the breath to the stillness. And perhaps even more importantly, the movement from the silence or the stillness back into the sound and the movement of the breath. And remind yourself that there is an aspect of you that is able to give attention to this. That is the suchness going through all of these life experiences, these myriad experiences. And you can join your hands together in Anjali Mudra. And we'll chant Asatoma Satgamaya. Let's do that together. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. And as you exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands, and lengthening up through the crown of your skull, we are going to practice now some pranayama that we've been developing. So I'd like you to interlace your fingers and place your hands on top of your head. And this is because I want us to feel the container between the pelvic floor and the crown of the skull. Press your hands down on the top of your head and reach the crown of your skull up. Now, ujjayi breath from the base of the spine up along the front of the spine into the crown of the skull where your hands are. When you exhale, try to sense the exhale also starting at the pelvic floor and moving upwards along the front of the spine towards the crown of your skull. As your hands press down and the top of the head presses up, bring your shoulder blades down your upper back. And do that for 2 breath cycles more using the ujjayi breath. Again, a subtle form of ujjayi. At the end of the exhale, then release your hands down to your lap and just notice the echo of the breath, including any echo of sensation at the crown of the skull. We are going to be returning to a part of this practice. We'll do one more piece of it right now. So clasp your hands again, place them on top of your head. So what we'll do now is the inhale. When you bring it up into the upper third of the torso, you're going to be suspending the inhale. And when we exhale, we'll lower the hands down. And the hands will be going down at the same relative pace of the exhale, so that you'll arrive at the bottom of the exhale at the exhale pause. And the hands will be back in your lap. Let's try that together, please. Inhale from the base, first third, middle third, upper third, into inhale suspension. Now releasing the suspension slowly, you're going to exhale out through the nose, lower your hands and arms down, also slowly. Tone the low belly in an increasing and consistent way. At the very end of the exhale, deeply relax the belly and your hands rest in your lap. So the next in-breath just simply comes. And that's something to keep in mind. The next in-breath simply comes. Okay, let's repeat that, please. Okay, beginning with your inhalation. And then exhaling and slowly lowering your hands. Now the exhale breath still does go up the front of the spine, but you sense the air leaving out through the nose. The hands and the arms also go down. At the bottom of the exhale, deeply relax the belly. Receive the next inhalation. So keeping a sense of how that works, we're going to return to it a little bit later. If the kittens get too wild in the classroom, I'll put them out. We'll see what they do next. Okay, so now we're going to practice bhastrika. And at the end of bhastrika, there's an inhale with suspension. And then again, there's going to be that exhale, 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 and you'll squeeze the belly, and then you relax the belly to receive the next inhale. Okay, let's begin. Now exhale. Inhale through the nose, lower, middle, and upper. Suspend the breath at the top. And then exhale smoothly and completely. You're going to be toning the belly and toning the belly. And at the end of that exhale, you deeply relax and the next in-breath comes. Okay, and then bhastrika again, please. A little sip of an inhale to start. Exhale. Breathe in through the nose, lower, middle, upper, into suspension. Exhale smoothly, slowly, completely. Give extra attention to the end of the exhale where you're squeezing the low abdomen, and then relax those muscles. The next inhale comes to you. Now placing your hands up on your shoulders, we're going to be exhaling out through the nose. And this is a variation of Kapalabhati, the skull shining breath. Let's begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to center. Now inhale lower, middle, and upper again. You're going to hold the breath at the top. Exhale slowly, completely, releasing all tension from the body and the mind. At the end of the exhale, again, I want you to squeeze the belly and then relax the belly to receive the inhalation. Let your mind rest. We'll do that one more time. I do have a little bit of kitten mayhem, and I'm just keeping a light eye on it. Place your hands on your shoulders, please. Let's begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to center. Inhale, lower, middle, upper, up to inhale, suspension. And then release the exhale slowly and completely. Squeeze the belly at the end of the exhale, and then receive the next inhalation. Okay, now we're going to practice the new process at the end of the exhale. And this I will ask you to do this morning with your hands clasped on top of your head. So what's going to happen is we'll be using the inhale as we just were. At the end of the exhale, same kind of exhale, but at the very end, you're going to tone the belly. And then without inhaling, you relax the muscles that made the exhale. So you've got this incredible tone. Those muscles then release, and there's going to be a natural vacuum or suction that happens inside. Don't make it more intense or try to play with it beyond that for now, please. Place your hands on top of your head. Okay, so inhale lower, middle, and then upper. Suspend the inhale. Now exhale slowly. You are lowering the hands and the arms down with the exhale. And tone the belly. Tone the belly, consistently draw that tone inward at the end of the exhale without inhaling. Relax the belly. And then tone your abdomen before you inhale so that you won't be gasping for the in-breath. And we're going to try this again. So you don't go directly to the next one because your body's recalibrating. We will do it now together. So place your hands on top of your head. And let's begin with the inhalation. Suspend. And exhale slowly. Bring the hands and arms down. You're going to completely exhale, tone the belly, tone the belly. At the end of the exhale, the muscles that toned the belly relax without you inhaling. Then tone the belly before you inhale. So there's a technique that we're learning the stepping stones of, and this technique will increase into what we call exhale suspension, a more formal exhale suspension. So we're going to shift to a standing practice, and I'm going to vacate the kittens from the room. They're causing trouble. You can't see it yet, but you might be able to hear it. Okay, so please rise up to standing, and let's take a wide stance. So when we take this wide stance, what we're going to be practicing is actually the same kind of breath process, but we're going to do it with the torso slightly down. So we did this yesterday in the midday practice also. Come down to Prasarita. Now, since the torso is a little bit inverted, you have this benefit to how the exhale breath happens. So I'm going to ask you to inhale, little suspension, and then your exhale. And you're going to take your time, you squeeze the exhale. At the end of that squeeze, you'll relax the belly muscles again. Notice the natural vacuum, the natural suction. And then tone the belly before you inhale. And then let's try that one more time. I was just checking on the kittens. I think they might be okay where they are. And maybe not so bothersome to you, just a concern for me. Okay, so the same process one more time, please. And when you complete that one, and you're going to inhale, then place your hands on your hips and rise up to standing. And let's go heel toe and heel toe into center. And we'll step into Surya Namaskar. Now during Surya Namaskar, we're not going to be using suspensions in the breath. So step to the front of your mat, please. I do want you to keep making the strong exhale. And one reason that we put the blocks here is to make the exhale more toned when you get to Uttanasana, because you're pressing your hands down into those blocks. So that can further strengthen and stabilize the inner belly. Palms together. Here we go, Ujjayi inhale. Sweeping the arms up. Okay, exhale, and let's sit down extra deep like we were doing last week. So what you do is you take the hips a little further back, and the torso is more like parallel to the floor, giving a good squeeze to the low belly. Okay, now inhale, press down, rise up, and let's look up. And then exhale, Uttanasana. Tone your inner arches, inner thighs. Press your palms against the blocks and tone the deep inner belly. Inhale, glide forward by lifting through your heart and the base of your skull. Exhale, left toes straight back. Inhale to rise, crescent. Exhale, warrior two. So keep your right leg stable in front and pivot the left heel down. Good. And then inhale, rising warrior. And now exhale and slowly windmill the arms over to touch the two blocks. Pivot your left heel up. Inhale, step forward, heart forward. And exhale, Uttanasana. Again, to go to a completion of the exhale, press your palms down to strengthen the inner belly. Inhale, raise your heart and the base of your skull forward. Okay, exhale, right toes back. Press into your left heel. Inhale to crescent. And then exhale, warrior two. So keep the left thigh stable in front of you. Turn your left hand skyward. Inhale, rising warrior. And then exhale, make the windmill. So you're squeezing the body as you come over. Pivot your right heel up. Inhale, step forward, heart forward. And exhale for a deep bow towards your legs. Press firmly into both hands. Okay, let's inhale, glide the heart forward now. And as you exhale, bend your knees into sort of the extra deep version of chair pose. Reach the arms forward, take a deep breath in. Let's exhale, push down, rise up, upward hands pose. And then inhale to a little standing back bend, making the arms like the letter Y. Exhale, hands to your heart. Again, inhale, upward hands pose. Exhale, deeper down into your chair pose. Breathe in. So this chair pose, we can sustain a moment here. Use the strength and the heat of your body. And then inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana, root into your heels, reach to your fingers. Exhale, Uttanasana, tone the inseam of the legs and your deep inner belly. Inhale, glide forward. Okay, left toes back. Inhale to rise, crescent. Warrior two. Rising warrior. Side angle, place your right forearm on your right thigh or your right fingers on your block. Inhale, warrior two. Now turn your right palm skyward and inhale, rising warrior. Again, exhale, side angle. You can put your forearm on your thigh or your fingers on the block. Breathe in. Exhale while you're here. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, turn your right hand up. Inhale, rising warrior. And this time, exhale down through side angle pose into fingers on the blocks. Pivot your left heel up and inhale, step forward, heart forward. Exhale, deeply bow towards your legs. Press into your palms. Inhale, glide your heart forward. Okay, right toes straight back. Keep the left heel grounded. Inhale, crescent. Good. Exhale, warrior two. Left hand skyward. Inhale to rise. Exhale, side angle pose. And you can do your forearm on your thigh or your fingers on the block. Exhale, while you're here, energize your right leg into your heel. Inhale, warrior two. So the pelvis does come upright to get to warrior two. Turn the left hand skyward. Inhale, rising warrior. And exhale, side angle pose. And your pelvis does rotate to bring you down to side angle. Breathe in. See if you can tone the belly during the exhale. Reach into your right inner heel. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, simply turn your left hand up. And inhale, rise up. And then exhale, windmill down and touch the blocks. Pivot your right heel up. This time we're going to step backwards. Inhale to plank. And then reach back, downward facing dog pose. Now in dog pose, let's stay for about 3 Ujjayi breath cycles, just noticing you've made some heat in the body. You've had some actions that are familiar. You're working with some earnestness and diligence. Can you bring attention, drifting it back to that which is the eye, looking through the kaleidoscope? In other words, try to sense the part of you that is watching this whole thing unfold. This benevolent observer. And then with an inhale, please come forward to plank pose. And exhale, step over one foot. So point the toes behind you, then point the other toes and come into seal pose. And inhale to lift your seal pose up. And exhale, slide the shoulders back. We're coming down to a kind of cobra pose with both hands on the blocks. And then inhale back up to seal pose. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, downward facing dog pose. And exhale, right foot forward, left foot forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, upward hands pose. Exhale, hands to your heart. Again, this time as you're practicing, these are familiar things. Exhale down to chair pose. See if you can really sense that which is observing. Like you don't lose contact. You have a sense of its continuity and consistency in you. So we inhale, press down to rise up. But don't put your entire focus on the movements, because attention for that witness or observer deserves more of your attention this morning. Glide forward. Left toes back. Rising. Warrior two. Rising warrior. Side angle. Try to sense again that which is witnessing through you, seeing you, making these efforts. Warrior two. Rising warrior. And down to plank pose. Downward facing dog. Left foot forward, right toe still anchored. Rising. Warrior two. Rising warrior. Side angle. Again, remembering that which is observing you, seeing you, in fact, animating you. Giving the light to your eyes and the breath to your lungs. Warrior 2. Rising. Descending to plank pose. Downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Point the toes of one foot and then the other. Seal pose. Inhale, light up your seal pose. Cobra, this variation on Bhujangasana. Seal pose, or you can do Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward dog pose. Exhale to plank. Touch your knees lightly down. Reach back to child's pose. Put one block under your head, please. Turn your palms face up. And when you come into child's pose, let the breath be really relaxed, so you're not making something happen there. Great, so now I'd like you to put the block aside, walk your hands back to your knees, and let's take a long folded blanket, like this. Place it down on the mat. Second blanket, place it on the mat, please. Okay, the kittens are fighting inside of a yoga mat that's nearby. That's the sound that you're hearing. So put your knees up on the two folded blankets, please. Now, to the extent that this is comfortable for the inner groin, then come forward and place a block at the height you need your head to be supported, and lower the elbows down. So you are giving a little extra squeeze of the abdomen and the thighs together. And see if you can relax the exhale, like you're going into the exhale breath. And then at the end of the exhale, you're able to have that kind of, you've toned the belly for the exhale. Can you then release those muscles that made the exhale? Can you do that even momentarily in this position? And then you can tone the belly before the next inhalation. So there are several steps in the process. One is that you get to exhale to completion and you're toning the belly. And then without inhaling, you let those muscles that tone the belly relax deeply. There'll be an internal suction. And then you tone the belly before you inhale. When you've tried that, let's say 2 or 3 times, so you've had a good exploration of it, you're experimenting, you're discovering, then you can come back up to kneeling, please. And let's take table pose with your knees on your blankets. Then step your right foot out to the side like this, so it's going sideways. I don't know if you can see that very well because I'm like the same color as my closet doors. So in this case, then sway the pelvis a little bit to your left so that the left sitting bone moves away from the right sitting bone. You might feel the right upper inner thigh. Place the right palm down. Take your left hand to your left hip and please twist to your left. Lengthen the upper inner right thigh into your right heel. I could say glide your sitting bones to the left, almost like the typewriter bar from way back. And as you're twisting your left shoulder to the left, strengthen your right arm, please. Press down. Okay, and then return your hands to your two blocks. Now, with your right foot, we're going to sit back so that the hips go towards the left heel. Curl the right toes up towards the ceiling. So what you have is the left side of the belly is compressed, and the right leg, you turn the toes up almost like Janusirsasana. Your hips are lower than your left knee right now. And then roll this back up to the starting position here, which is a little bit like a pose we call gate pose. So walk your hands up to your knees, up to your hips, excuse me, to make this into gate pose. Turn your right toes sideways. Yep. And sweep the left arm up and over. If you'd like, you can walk your right fingertips down your right leg. Press down into your left shin, left knee, left thigh. And as you tone the left low belly, breathe into the left hemisphere of the torso. And see if you can again sense the eye that looks through the kaleidoscope. In other words, that larger something you can put your own name on that is seeing you making these efforts right now. And as you next exhale, tone the left low belly and float yourself up. Great. Bring your hands down to the two blocks. Let's change sides. Place your right knee up on these elevated blankets. Step the left foot out to the side. Hello. Yeah. Okay, walk the hands down to the floor. So in this case, you have the left toes pointing forward, and we're going to lengthen the upper inner left thigh. So glide your sitting bones to the right. Take your right hand to your right hip and twist to your right. So when you move the pelvis here, you might be realizing that the upper inner left thigh has some sensations. You may also recognize the strength needed in the left arm to press down, and that does influence how you experience the breath. See if you can sense the myriad small and large actions with the one presence watching you, seeing your efforts. We're going to exhale, return both hands to the two blocks. As you take your hips back towards your right heel, pivot the left toes up towards the ceiling. And you do have pressure against the right side of the abdomen. And then root down, roll yourself up. So we're going to now take the hands to the hips, rise up to the standing part of gate pose. Turn your left toes to the left, please. And side bending to your left, you can raise your right arm up past your right ear. During any one yoga practice, there's like these delicious things to notice, the feeling of awakening. There are also efforts to notice. I'm just going to ask you to bring your attention back again to what is capable of observing all of this through you. I sometimes say like that which is animating your eyes, your ears, your ability to sense anything. It also animates kittens. And then exhale, rise up to your high knees. And place your hands on the two blocks. Please put the knees together one more time. And as you stretch back, we're going to come down. So this is it's a way of simulating a more complete exhale because of the position we put the torso in. So the knees are elevated. You have a block or two for your head. Drop the elbows down as best as you can. And let's try it again where you're going to inhale. You can be thoughtful about the inhale. It can be expansive. It's got some compression on it, the inhale. But then I want you to exhale slowly, thoughtfully toning the belly. And then at the end of that kind of exhale, you're going to relax the tone of the abdomen without inhaling. And you're just checking to see, is there a little suction, a little vacuum that happens right there? And then you'll tone the belly before inhaling. And once you've done that twice, then go ahead and walk up to kneeling. And take the 2 blankets, place them on your mat. It's going to be for your shoulder blades. Please put a block here for your head. Take the upper back onto the 2 blankets, please. Let's start with the block on the medium setting, even though we're going to be changing it for some of you. This will seem a little bit high. For others, this will seem like the most comfortable place to begin. Take the arms out in a T shape. Allow the shoulders to roll back towards the floor. Put your attention into the line of the ribs. So we do want the heart to be the high point of the blanket right now. And I want you to sense what's going to happen with the same experimental process with the breath. So let's inhale a smooth breath, low belly, mid torso, even up to the heart. And then exhale and consecutively, consistently tone the low pelvis, tone the interior structures of the body and the external musculoskeletal. At the end of that exhale tone, without inhaling, relax the belly. Notice the automatic suction. Then tone the belly muscles before inhaling. And try that once more in this position, please. When you have done that once more, then stretch the legs out straight and take the block that's under your head and lower it down to the flat setting. Invite your body to relax and to receive. If it's comfortable for your lower, middle, and upper back, as well as for your neck, you can place your head down on the floor behind you. It is okay that sometimes the cervical spine does a little back bend. Just don't overdo the lift of the chin, but don't try to hold tension in the throat either. And then reach for your block to place it back under your head. And please roll to your side thoughtfully. And you can do like a little break dancing maneuver. Spin yourself about, watching out for other mammals. And come down to Shavasana, please. So Shavasana is important this morning in terms of resting completely because we're going to be doing pranayama after Shavasana. So please lie on your back and come down to rest. Encourage yourself to be as still as possible. And letting yourself rest, you want there to be a deep sense of getting a reset. That reset being like the full physiological, neurological, mental, emotional, everything. So allow the body to get heavy and all the efforts you are making may get to come to rest. Listening in to the indwelling witness, still seeing you making these efforts. Even the gentle effort that is a surrender, that also matters. The effort to surrender is this gentle saying no to this or that that would pull you away, and saying yes to that which is bringing you back home. So allow the mind to surrender any unnecessary distractions. Let the body be limp with relaxation. Allow that rest to continue deepening in every cell of the body. And keeping that sense of rest even more deeply permeating now. Start to cultivate a sense of the memory of being in this moment, the memory. Resting into that which is pulling you back home, like magnetically calling you back home. And you can just lightly wiggle your toes and your fingers. Please bend your knees, and when you're able to roll sideways, pause there for a good long moment. And then use both hands to come back up to sitting. We're going to have some pranayama time. The gem of your practice is in pranayama and then meditation. So as you rise up to sit, give a little lift to the base of your skull. So your chin is gently going to be oriented slightly down. Lift your collarbones and your heart. Bring your right hand up to close the right nostril. We're going to do Nadi Shodhana. So you'll inhale left, exhale right, inhale right, exhale left. That's one cycle. I'd like you just to begin with your inhale and exhale balanced to each other. So you're going to lightly count the inhale and the exhale so that the in-breath and the out-breath are relatively even. Let's do that for a couple more rounds in Nadi Shodhana. At the end of your next exhale through the left nostril, go ahead and bring your right hand down. Pause. Let there be this reflection. What is the echo of that pranayama? And now we'll do inhale, left nostril, the same pace. Inhale, suspension. Equal to that, the exhale. The bottom of the exhale, a very brief toning, releasing without inhale, toning to begin the inhale. And I do want that to be very brief for you. So if you're doing inhale 10, suspend for 10, exhale for 10, this exhale, brief suspension is literally brief. So you're not making yourself breathless, please. Then you'll inhale right nostril, let's say for 10, suspend for 10, exhale for 10. Might be 6, could be 3. It's your pace. Let's begin with inhale, left side. You may complete with exhale left. And see if you then might rest in the deep interior cave of that place where you sense what is witnessing you and that which animates your senses and your ability to give attention to your practice like this. Rest your mind in the silence. sort of benevolent presence. Meditation is like the jewel of the practice. So stay at rest inside this meditative mind. Invite your mind to keep resting in the silence, that which is not thought. Keeping your awareness on that benevolent presence, which I'm referring to with those words. You can use your own words. And please bring your hands to your heart. The physical practices, the tools, the medicines of this kind of undertaking is to help us navigate that daily life has certain stressors which we accumulate. We don't want that accumulation to become a residue. And the pranayama bridges us from daily life to the internal life, and meditation brings us back home. May we then, from this place, make decisions about daily living that don't accumulate so much residue. May we be able to be at home in this witness self, this love, while we go about the actions of daily living. Let's sing Om Shanti together 3 times, please. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Namaste. So one kitten is at rest in meditation, one kitten is not. And that's just the variations, the fluctuations of kittens. I put my headset in so that I hope that you heard them a lot less in Shavasana and you were able to have some quiet time. And also for meditation. Let me come up to say hi to you guys. You can't see this whole room, so you don't know the mess that they've made in here. Good morning. And how are you feeling with the practice? Anna? Oh no, okay, I got it. Were you going to say something? Okay. Thank you for your chats, which I can also see there.